we are diving straight into the chaos of the Catalonia MotoGP, where rider Alex Marquez suffered a serious injury. He sustained a fractured neck and a broken collarbone following a high-speed crash. We have all the details on what happened and the urgent medical updates surrounding Alex Marquez right now. Finally, we get the full rundown on Alex Marquez's recovery, including the successful surgery and his release from the hospital, alongside the reactions from other top riders like Jorge Martin. Stay with us for the latest developments on this intense racing drama. Alex Marquez sustained serious injuries during a high-speed crash at the Catalonia MotoGP, suffering a fractured neck and a broken collarbone. The accident occurred when Marquez collided with the rear of Pedro Acosta, while Acosta was leading the race on lap 12 of 24. Acosta reportedly experienced a sudden loss of power on the straight and attempted to warn other riders, but Marquez was unable to react, impacting the KTM bike before both riders went toward the wall and cartwheeled. Marquez was immediately attended to by an ambulance and was not involved in the restart, with his team Gresini Racing confirming he was conscious. External sources later confirmed that Marquez has a marginal fracture of his C7 vertebra, the seventh and lowest in the neck, requiring further medical assessment. Additionally, he has a right clavicle fracture, which will be stabilized with a plate, and he is scheduled for surgery on Sunday. In the race itself, the event was marred by two major crashes, leading to the race being red-flagged twice. Fabio Di Giannantonio ultimately secured the victory in Barcelona after being hit by debris, but managing to restart the race. Furthermore, former Moto2 champion Johann Zarco was hospitalized after crashing out of the restart, which triggered a second red flag, and he will undergo tests on his left leg following an entanglement with his bike. Race officials and competitors expressed concern for the injured riders, with Di Giannantonio commenting on the difficult day and emphasizing the need for safety in the sport. Meanwhile, reigning champion Marc Marquez, Alex's brother, missed the event after fracturing his foot in France the previous weekend. Two MotoGP stars, Alex Marquez and Johann Zarco, were hospitalized following severe accidents during Sunday's Catalan Grand Prix in Barcelona. The race was marred by multiple incidents, culminating in serious crashes that required immediate medical attention for both riders. The first major collision involved Alex Marquez, who suffered a frightening crash after impacting the rear of Pedro Acosta's bike. Acosta had been leading on lap 12 when his KTM unexpectedly lost power, prompting a warning to trailing riders, but Marquez was unable to react. The Gresini Ducati rider subsequently collided with Acosta's machine, sending both riders and their bikes cartwheeling violently toward the wall. Marquez was immediately transported by ambulance and was not involved in the subsequent restart. Fabio Di Giannantonio, who secured a race victory and his first MotoGP win since 2023, sustained debris-related injuries but was able to continue. Johann Zarco was also taken to the hospital after crashing out of the restart, which triggered a second red flag. Meanwhile, reigning champion Marc Marquez, Alex's brother, had previously missed the race due to a fractured foot sustained in a crash in France the previous weekend. The Gresini Ducati team issued a statement detailing Alex Marquez's condition. Alex has suffered a marginal fracture of C7, the seventh cervical vertebra. Further evaluation will be completed next week. He also has a right clavicle fracture, which will be stabilized with a plate. He will undergo surgery today at Hospital General de Catalunya. the C7 vertebra is critical as it supports the head and spinal cord. Regarding Zarco, LCR Honda team manager Lucio Sacainolo provided an update. He has been taken to the local hospital. They will perform a scan to check exactly what he has. He has pain in his left leg and around his knee. But fortunately, he has no concussion, no injury to any other part of his body, not in the feet or ankle. It appears to be in the femur area. We really hope there will be no bad news. Sunday's results placed Marquez 7th in the Riders' Championship with 67 points, trailing leader Marco Bezzecchi by 73 points. Di Giannantonio finished third, placing 11 points behind Jorge Martin in second, who trails Bezzecchi by 13 points. Johann Zarco remains in 15th place with 34 points. Alex Marquez, the 30-year-old Spanish MotoGP rider and brother of seven-time champion Marc Marquez, has been discharged from the hospital following surgery for a clavicle fracture sustained in a terrifying crash at the Barcelona MotoGP race on Sunday. The rider underwent successful surgery overnight at Hospital General de Catalonia. The incident occurred when Marquez went airborne after his bike flipped over on the gravel, colliding with the rear of Pedro Acosta's KTM bike, which subsequently lost power. Medical scans confirmed that Marquez sustained a fracture on his right collarbone and a marginal fracture on the vertebrae near his neck. His Gresini racing team issued a statement confirming the successful procedure, noting that the fracture was stabilized with the insertion of a plate by Ana Carreras, David Benito, and Paula Barragan. Marquez is scheduled to leave the hospital on Monday afternoon. Prior to the surgery, Marquez shared an update on Instagram, stating, "Everything's under control. I'm due to go into the operating theater tonight, but I couldn't be in better hands. Thank you all so much for your concern and for the kind messages I've been receiving." The Catalan Grand Prix was marked by significant incidents, with the race being red-flagged twice. Earlier in the event, French rider Johann Zarco suffered a broken fibula after a three-rider pileup on the first lap, though he indicated that the femur was not broken and he was staying in the hospital for observation. Following the multiple incidents, some riders expressed dissatisfaction with the race's decision to proceed with a third restart, with 2024 MotoGP champion Jorge Martin stating that 3 restarts were unnecessarily dangerous. Alex Marquez is set to leave the hospital on Monday afternoon after undergoing successful surgery for a fracture of his right clavicle following a terrifying crash at the Barcelona MotoGP race on Sunday. The 30-year-old Spanish rider, brother of 7-time MotoGP champion Marc Marquez, was involved in a serious incident when he went airborne after his bike flipped on the gravel, colliding with the back of Pedro Acosta's KTM bike, which unexpectedly lost power. Medical scans confirmed that Marquez sustained a fracture on his right collarbone and a marginal fracture on the vertebrae near his neck. His Gresini racing team issued a statement confirming the surgery, which involved the insertion of a plate to stabilize the clavicle by Ana Carreras, David Benito, and Paula Barragan at Hospital General de Catalonia. The team announced that Marquez would be discharged later that afternoon. Marquez shared a positive update on Instagram Sunday night, stating, "Everything's under control. I'm due to go into the operating theater tonight, but I couldn't be in better hands. Thank you all so much for your concern and for the kind messages I've been receiving." The Catalan Grand Prix saw 2 frightening incidents, with the race being red-flagged twice. Earlier in the race, French rider Johann Zarco suffered a broken fibula after a 3-rider pileup on Turn 1, though he assured fans that the femur was not broken and he was monitoring the situation closely. Not all competitors were satisfied with the race restart following the 2 serious accidents. 2024 MotoGP champion Jorge Martin expressed concern, stating that 3 restarts were dangerous and unnecessary.